Last week, we talked about the importance of friendships. And we talked about us being friends with our friends, right? But we actually never talked about losing a friend. What happens when something goes wrong and that person that was extremely close to you suddenly disappears from your life? And we don't even have time to mourn. I mean, we are all broken inside, but we rarely hear people say, I lost a friendship.
Yeah.
We're talking about losing friendships today, how that happens, and how we deal with that. Welcome to episode
12.
Sex,
Relationships.
Careers.
And just plain life. From the experience of two Latina actresses.
Welcome to V Unfiltered. Hi, I am Vanesa Tomasino.
And my name is Maria Bruson.
And before we start this episode, I want to apologize to the viewers, not the listeners because they can't see, but to the viewers. I wasn't using my blankie last week, and a lot of people complained and said, where is it? Because it's the staple of V Unfiltered. And you're right. And I thought episode 11, I would switch it up, have no blankie.
Yeah, no, don't ever do it again.
No, it turns out it's not part of our,
Nope.
No, our thing is the blankie. So it's back, people. So we talked about friendships last week and having them and saving them and being part of a healthy friendship. And then at the end of the episode, you and I were like, we forgot to mention losing friends.
Yes, and not only death, but also like when friendships just dissolve, I guess.
Yes. And one of our listeners actually said that she messaged us and said, I love the episode, but you didn't talk about losing friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought you're right. It was something that we brought up. And like you said, it's not just death, but what happens when miscommunication happens or something that just went wrong,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do we deal with that? How do we honestly deal with that empty space? That's the end of the show. Thank you for listening to us. I don't know.
Well, I've experienced. I'm pretty sure you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Both the death of my best friend in college, and I've also experienced like losing two of my best friends. And they're definitely different situations, because with my best friend who passed away, I mean, I never really had closure, but I knew I did have a little bit of closure. I understood the fact that her life in this planet ended.
Yeah.
But with my other two friends, we were really close, and just things hit the fan, to say it like that. And it's harder because they're still going on with their lives. They're still living their lives, but you're just not part of their lives, and they're not part of your life anymore. How do you deal with that? I don't think I found like a secret recipe to know what to do in those cases. Like, it's hard. One day you have that person who you share so much with you, and then the next day they're gone. Like, how are you supposed to, deal with that and deal with the fact that they're not gonna, you can't like message them and tell them about how you fell walking up the stairs or something like that.
I have to admit that losing my friendships have been harder to get over than my relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Death, it's almost like you say, okay, it's not my fault.
Mm-hmm. Or could I have done something to change that?
Yeah. Like it's not under your control, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody dies, it's not There's nothing you can do. You can't stop
It's a
it.
cycle of life also. Like, it's part of life, you know?
Like, we're all supposed to go there at different times. I mean, hopefully. I'm using the word hopefully wrong. I just read this book. Sorry, I'm going off a tangent, but I need to say this. I was reading this book on how to write correctly. And the expression hopefully doesn't actually exist. Like, you can't be hopefully about something, you know? You can be hopeful that something works out, but hopefully it makes no sense in the English grammar. And I just started the phrase with hopefully. So I'm going to take that back and say, when somebody passes away, I would like to think that it was their time, and we expect to die at old age, right?
And yeah,
In theory, that would be nice. So all of us living full lives,
growing old together, and
growing old together, and
husbands die, just move in together.
yes, our plan for sure. Big house, no husbands, just us and friends. That's the dream. That's the idea of how we would expect our lives to happen, right? Now, the reality is that we could die at any point. It could be right now, it could be tomorrow, it could be whenever, right? It's not, there's no age for dying. It could happen at any time. So it's completely out of your control. So if your friend passes away, there is subconsciously, at least, there is this idea that it's not your fault. There's nothing you can do. But what happens when your friends are still alive and something just happened, a fight, an event, a misunderstanding, and now they're no longer part of your life, but neither person wants to reach out or accept that something went wrong.
Or you both came to agreement that the best thing is just
absolutely,
this is not working, and
absolutely,
it hurts just as much.
It does. It does. I've had, I don't know if I told you this. Well,
You probably have.
I probably have. I mean, I've had that same situation where I had friends pass away in high school. Car accident. We can talk about that some other day, but I don't know if I told you this, but I had this friend. She was my best friend in the whole world. We went to the same school. We played volleyball together. I love her so much, and I loved her parents. Her parents loved me. We both went to study to Canada, not together, separately. She was in one side of the country. I was in the other side of the country. We would text every day. I mean, I loved her. She was just a joy in my life, right? Then I decided to move closer to her in Canada. I went to graduate school, and she was there too. So I said, cool, we're going to be in the same city together. So I messaged her and I said, hey, I'm moving where you are. And she was, yeah, that's exciting. She was so happy. The day of my move, I took the plane. I wrote to her. I said, I'm on my way. She's like, I'm waiting for you. I was so excited. And then I got there and I called her and she didn't pick up.
Yeah, you told me about this.
And I was like, what is happening? She didn't pick up. And so I messaged her and I said, maybe you're busy. I'm here. I'm going to my apartment. See you later. Like, I thought we were going to have like this amazing dinner and we were going to catch up. And she didn't respond. And then she didn't respond the following day and the following day and the following day. And then I started calling like a mad woman because I just couldn't understand what was happening. I wanted an explanation. Had I done something wrong? Because if I did, I wanted to at least explain myself, or did she just not want to see me? But how can a person change in less than 24 hours? And so I left her messages. I remember being on campus after classes and I would phone her and I'd be like, dude, what is going on? I was so confused. I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? And then by my 15th message, all spread out in a couple of weeks and months, by my 15th message, I just said, listen, I get the point. You don't want to see me. That's okay. But I think I at least deserved an explanation. And I didn't get one.
Oh my God.
I didn't get one. And so sometimes we were in the same city. I never saw her. I never run into her. Then we traveled and we were in the same country, and I didn't run into her either. And it's really strange. And sometimes people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, how is blah 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 doing?" And I have to say, I don't know. I haven't talked to her in more than, now it's what? That was 2013?
10 years.
10 years. Oh my God. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to her in 10 years. So that's that.
We're so close to 2023, and that's for next episode. But
Yes, our last
almost 10
episode.
years.
10 years. Can you imagine?
Imagine, yeah.
I feel like it was yesterday. Like the pain is still like it was yesterday. I still feel like it was yesterday. It's 10 years ago. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Is that the only friendship you've lost? Like
That permanently, yes.
Yeah.
Permanently, yes. Not. I mean, okay. Let me get started by saying that I am not the person that I used to be. In my 20s, therapy. You know what? We should have like a drinking game every time we say therapy in this podcast. Just drink. Take a shot.
I'll bring the tequila for next.
Yes, episode. For the end of the year. Okay, so what were we talking about?
How she's the only friend you.
Oh no! So yes, we change, right? Like we change. That's part of humanity. Like that's the thing. The best thing about us is that we're constantly evolving. Once again, therapy, take a shot, But I am definitely not the person that I was in my 20s. I was drunk for half of my 20s. Mm-hmm. I think I stopped drinking when I was 28 or 27, that I just said no more, not even a glass, not even one beer. Like I just said no more because I realized that drinking had been so destructive. And my best friend at the time, who continues to be my best friend now, Mackenzie, mm-hmm. I remember he sat me down because he's older and wiser. I was just a 20-year-old girl confused. So mm-hmm. I was 27, and I remember he sat me down. Or 26, I can't remember. Something like that. He sat me down. Like her age. Oh, she's just a baby. And he sat me down and he said, "You have a problem." Like he literally said, "You have a problem." And that was the first time anybody had said that to me. And I said, "Why?" He's like, "You're drinking too much." And obviously that was a coping mechanism, for the whole pain that I was feeling at the time, and my inner child raging, and searching for validation and being rejected. And it was the first time that anybody had said that to me, like, "You need help." And that's a
good friend.
That's a really good friend. And that's when I hit rock bottom. And he didn't even say like, "You need help. I don't want to be your friend anymore." Mm-hmm. He said, "You need help. I will help you. Like I will be with you." Yeah. I know. He's been with me through my entire life, my adult life. Like he's picked me up from the floor, basically. So anyhow, in my 20s, because I was, like I said, drunk for half of the time, I made a lot of bad decisions. And I made decisions not taking into account my friendships and my, how it was going to impact my friends. And so I know that I lost a few friendships in my 20s. There was one very important friendship with an actress. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to, once again, Taylor Swift anybody. But she was an actress friend of mine. I loved her. We would audition together. We coached together. We worked in a few films together. We were very close. And then I don't know what happened, but I think she was doing some festival and I volunteered, or a movie, I can't remember. And I volunteered to help her. But then I got caught up in one of my relationships with a man who was very controlling. And he didn't allow me to go. And so I just said to her, after committing and saying I would be there for you and your movie and all that stuff, when I was in this relationship, I just disappeared. Because it was easier for me to disappear than to have to explain, hey, this man is so jealous that he doesn't let me leave the house, for example. Mm-hmm. And so I just disappeared. And for her, she felt that I had abandoned her as a friend. And so she sent me this huge letter. Oh my God. She sent me on I think it was on Facebook, She sent me this message saying that I was selfish, that I was this horrible human being for letting her down, and she never wanted to see me again and stuff like that. It hurt me so much because I knew she was right in a way, and I knew that it was my fault, but I also couldn't explain to her that I was broken and that I needed to help to get out of the current situation I was in. And so years went by. Like I'm saying, like that was to say something 2006, and then I saw her again in 2013, and I changed cities, and then she was in the city, and I said to her, can we talk? Like, we should talk. And we met at a restaurant, and she had evolved. She was now married and had children, and I was married, and and I was like, oh my God, what did we do? And then we mended our friendship, and now we're very, very close again. But we both realized that we were in our 20s and confused and angry and reactionary, and
Well, that gives me hope.
yeah, I'm telling you,
But
things can work
that
out.
happens. What happened with your situation with your boyfriend at the time and your friend is more common than you think.
It's very common. I've done it millions of times.
I've fucked up millions of times.
Yes, I have.
No, it's really common. I feel like it also, like, friends are very overprotective of their best friends, and when they see a guy that they are, they're just like, that's not who you deserve, they can be very overprotective. And also, a lot of male partners don't really try to have that relationship with their partner's best friend, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it is crucial my partner gets along with my best friends. If they don't, I don't think I could be with that person.
Yeah.
Like I said, my friendships are so important. And if my partner can't, I am not asking for them to be BFFs.
Yeah.
But if he can't at least be cordial and be in the same room as, as my best friends from my entire life, like, I can't be with that person.
Yeah. See, I'm not like that. I wasn't like that. Now I don't. I'm different, but I wasn't like that. For me, it's the moment I was in a relationship, I said bye to my friends. It's like, I don't need you.
And you're not the only one. That happens so much.
Yeah, and it wasn't, like I said, it's not voluntary. It's not that I want to get rid of my friends.
No, it's just
that the relationship is so consuming. Yeah. And to be quite honest, none of my partners have liked my friends. None. And perhaps.
Do you know the reasons?
They just don't like them. The reasons, like, they're superficial, they're actors, they're annoying, they think they're the center of the universe. Yeah. So for me, I haven't had what you had. Like, I've never had, like, my partners be friends with my friends. That's just weird to me. My worlds don't collide. Like, if I say I'm going to go out with my friends, that means no partner. And if I'm going to go out with my partner, it means no friends. They've never mixed. I'm not like that anymore, but I also changed standards now for both partners and friends.
Picking up homeless men.
I am not picking up homeless men anymore. Yes. There's one friendship that I still haven't managed to save, but I think I'm going to let go of that one because I don't know if I can save it. And also because I don't know. It's another actress friend of mine. We were supposed to go out to LA together. We were both in Vancouver. Yeah. And we were both young and in Vancouver. And we knew that the next step for us was going to LA. Her and I had worked in so many shows together, also auditioned for the same things. We had that same energy. She's beautiful, by the way, as in, like, a human. She's an amazing human. I love her. And so we both decided to go to LA together. And that's when I got into this relationship. And then I couldn't leave. And she moved to LA and she waited for me. She was like, are you moving here or what? Like, I got the apartment. And I was like, oh no, I'm no longer going. She's like, why? I can't anymore. I am in a relationship. She never spoke to me again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Once
Still
again.
to this day?
Still to this day. I think she has even blocked me from her socials. And I, once again, I if you're watching, I doubt it, but if you're watching, like, I apologize. I mean, she was right. I should have never left her hanging for a guy. But that was so common with me.
Is it like just like relationships, friendships are also really hard to navigate. Like we're all in a different page, like in many things. For example, like love languages.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest problems with this former friend of mine, and like she couldn't understand that there was so much that I could give, and it's not because I didn't want to. That's all I had to give in this like
At that time.
friendship, and it wasn't enough, and I was never enough, and we both, in like emotionally, intelligently,
Yeah.
decided to like just
But that's good though. That's healthy.
yeah.
That's like a healthy breakup where both people
I
say
mean, but
this is
there's
not
still
working.
a lot of pain behind it. Like I don't think that I've I was able to get over my friend who passed away, but I'm still working on my other two friendships that I had to walk away from willingly. So that's where I come back to this idea that I brought in the beginning of this episode. Like I feel like it's hard to lose a friend when they pass away because it's so abrupt. It's so out of nowhere, and then sometimes you don't have the time to say goodbye, and you're trying to find closure. You still probably have so many things to tell them, and you weren't able to tell them a lot of things, and how you feel or that you love them one more time.
Yeah.
But when you have to like take a smart decision and walk away from a friendship that's being very toxic or painful or unjust, maybe, or manipulative. There's many reasons why people part ways. It's another kind of hard, but it's equally or maybe harder.
But that's good that you're able to walk away from toxic friendships. I mean, and that both of you agreed on it in a very mature
Yeah.
way. Because I mean, I've walked away from toxic friendships too, but it was never said. It wasn't explicit. It's just our friendship, it just wasn't as busy. It wasn't, we never talked anymore as often. I'm still there for them,
So
but
just like it just like Tela Bertrand said, it just what
oh
does
yeah,
it
that's
say?
right.
Like
It just fades away.
it fades away. It faded away.
Yeah. But I do think that implicitly we both knew that it was for the best. I have this friend that I love so much, but she's so negative. And I understand, like, but everything is judgmental. Everything she says comes with, she's like, she may say something like, oh, that's a beautiful woman, and then go, that's what money can buy. So she will make a
Oh.
compliment, but then she will just hit hard, right? And so
Yeah.
after a while of being with her, it's very draining emotionally. So, and now that I'm in therapy, drink, I I have no time for that because I am in such a good place. Like, I can't explain to you, I'm in such a good place right now that I can't tolerate people who have anything negative to say about others in a way that is un it's not coming from a place of positive criticism, but rather from just pain and reaction from that person.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate way to see life. Like
It is.
seeing the glass half empty.
It is. I mean, I was like that too when I was so unhappy with myself. Like, I remember that everything was wrong. Everyone was wrong. I remember even talking to my friend who's a psychologist, and she said, I'm angry. She said, I'm angry about everything. And that tells me, she goes, that there's something wrong with my life because I am seeing only the negative things on people. And it's because I'm so unhappy with myself. So she's like, I'm projecting it onto people. And now that I'm no longer in that place, I can honestly say that my friendships have changed and my priorities on who I want to give time to has changed. I'm also making an effort since the last episode to it's like V Unfiltered. It's also changing my life. Since the last episode, I'm also making an effort to talk more with my friends. To at least send them a message every other day, just saying like, I care for you, I love you, and because I do, I do. It's just that I am so consumed by my
I already
work.
told you, like, I think your close friends, I mean, I love that you're doing that effort because it's necessary.
Yeah.
In some cases, but your closest friends know how draining your life is and how it like literally consumes you. Your mom, you take care of your children, you work, you try to stay busy with academia as well. You're auditioning so much, so congrats.
Thank you.
How many auditions last week?
8.
Like 8. Yeah.
It was overwhelming. I am laughing because there is pain underneath and stress.
Yeah, and like it's funny because the shortest auditions are the hardest ones, and like the longest you just like get them out of the way like super
So
quick.
weird.
So I think, I mean, obviously you can't forget about your friendships and your friends and whatever, but your friends also know that you're busy all the time.
I hope they do. But that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be a better friend. I'm trying
And that's great. I mean, that's great.
I think. Thank you. I hope so. I mean, I'm trying to be a better friend and just let them know, hey, I'm busy, but I'm here. I love you, right? And it's funny because my work means everything to me. I love my work. And I was in my therapy session. Therapy. How many times now? You should be drunk by now listening to this podcast. I was in my session and I was, my therapist was like, you work a lot, and is it that you're hiding from something with your friends? And I thought, no, not with my friends. My friend, no. She's like, I think you may be afraid of intimacy with your friends. I'm like, no, not with my friends. She's like, I'm going to give you a video that you must watch right now in the session. I'm like, 20 minutes of Brene Brown talking about intimacy, the fear of intimacy and friendships, right? So I'm watching the video and she's exposing her case and I'm going, this is not me. Like, me. Like I'm very transparent in my friendships. Like, exactly how I feel. I have no issue being intimate with my friends, telling them about my life and my fears and stuff like that. And so I finished watching the video after 20 minutes in my session. And then she goes, so did that resonate with you? I was like, no. I actually, the reason I don't hang out with my friends is because I don't have time. But it's not because I don't want to make time. I do make time. I actually incorporate my friends to my work and explain like how I bring you as a reader, and how for my birthday we spend it together with Monica, and I said, no, anytime I have or that I can get my friends involved in my work or outside, I will. No, there's no issue there. I run away from my relationships with work. Yes, I do that, but not with my friendships. And she was like, oh, so we just watched 20 minutes of a video that didn't. I was like, there goes 20 minutes of my session.
Oh my God.
But I thought, but you know what? It was worth it because it made me realize that I don't have an issue with my friendships.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. And I do have an issue with my relationships, And I said to her, I'm so closed off with relationships now. I'm just like, I don't want to know about them, and I don't want to, I don't want to think about them. And I've been really happy just focusing on me and my friends. And she's like, that's good, but don't close yourself off to, improving your relationships. And I goes, man, you can never satisfy your therapist.
No, you actually can't.
No, you
They're
can't.
always trying to make you be a better person.
And that's a good thing. That's a great
That's
thing.
what a good therapist should do.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good thing. But society doesn't approve of us talking about friendships as a loss. You never have spaces to actually talk about how you lose a friend and how to overcome that, because like you say, you're still in the process of healing that one for you. I'm still obviously part of,
I'm still in the process of healing too.
The same with me. And you know what? I don't know if they would ever watch this podcast, but if my ex friends, is that how we call them? Ex
Yeah, I
friends?
guess.
If my ex friends are watching, know that I am a changed person and I know the mistakes that I've made and that I'm sorry that I hurt you at some point. It wasn't my intention clearly, but it did. So if you're watching, know that I'm upset that I made you upset and made you realize that you didn't want to be my friend anymore. So
I love that accountability. I feel like
yeah.
also we should all have accountability. Now that you're doing it, I'll do it as well. To my ex friends, if you're watching this, well, I mean, even though I said that with one of those friendships, we both willingly like walked away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm only telling my truth,
Yeah.
right? And I'm pretty sure she has her truth. Um, and I'm pretty sure she thinks I'm a shitty person, but I mean, probably I was. Probably I wasn't really taking, care of what I was saying or how I was reacting because things were just not we're just not getting along. So I feel like I should probably say that I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
She was, as much as I've been hurt, she was also hurt. So yeah,
It's hard being a human because you
it's
both have
hard.
right. You both have your truth and you're both hurt. No one's right. Oh,
No.
by the way, Mark Manson, Mark, my friend, he wrote on his IG the other day. Do you have it there? Can you read it? Something about the moment you accept the moment you don't have to be right, you accept the beauty of being wrong, and that's yes. Why can't we do more of that? Of
Nobody else is responsible for your life but you. Is it that one?
next one, I think it's in the same post.
Yesterday I wanted a burrito. No.
Let me say that again. So the moment you stop trying to be right, you find the beauty on being wrong.
I can't find it, but that's amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah, because the thing is, we don't have to be right.
Oh, look how beautiful. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice.
Exactly. You have the power to you decide if you want to suffer. Somebody asked me yesterday. I'm going off a tangent here. I'm not, we're getting off track here with friends. But somebody asked me yesterday because I had this weekend. A lot of things went wrong. I wasn't in the best of moods. Not moods in my life wasn't going as I would have liked it. So, for example, I was stuck in traffic. I was supposed to go to a volleyball game, and I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours, and then I missed my game. So all I had to do was once I got into the roundabout, I just went back home. So I just left my home for 2 hours just to be in traffic. And somebody yesterday in class said to me, weren't you just like so angry? Like, you had to wake up to go to the game and then you didn't play and you were stuck in traffic. And I said, no, I wasn't angry. I don't get angry anymore about things that I don't have control of. And I don't even get angry in the things that I did wrong. Like, for example, if I did an audition and it wasn't as sharp as I would have liked, I no longer get angry at that.
I think that comes with the years because right now I still get angry over things that I can't control.
Yeah. No, I'm no longer doing that. But once again, I'm 41. So it's the wisdom that's in me. Like I don't know. I can't be bothered anymore. And I do have to say that I am very aware of the privilege that I have. I was in bed last night and I was thinking, I have a home. I have a home. I have two beautiful little humans who don't suffer from any disease or chronic problems. I have friends who love me. I work in the best industry for me, and I am successful at it. What do I have to complain about? Yeah, that I'm not filthy rich or that I don't have money. So what? Like, what do I have to complain about? I have the most important things in my life. I have my health, so I thought that's privilege.
Yeah. And you're also allowed
Yeah.
to get angry or or
there's-
feel like
I
feel
think-
bad sometimes. Like
You're right. And I think there's a difference. Like
toxic positivity is a thing.
toxic positivity is a thing. Absolutely.
Like sometimes I just wanna lay in bed and just say like I fucking hate everything.
Yeah, and you're
Like, I'm
allowed,
allowed
to.
to.
You're allowed to.
And then pick myself up and be like, okay, I'm healthy. I have 2 feet, 2 hands. I have a brain that works.
Yeah.
I have I'm talented. I have a job. I'm not starving. I have a roof under my head. I have
And you have an
pets.
amazing friend.
I have an amazing friend. I have an amazing partner. I have amazing community here at SAS. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I think you're right. I think you are right that we have to express our emotions. Like if you're angry, you express it. The problem is the lingering anger, where you're angry the rest of the day.
Living in anger, yeah. No.
Yes. I used to be like that. Like for example, if I had a bad audition, I would carry with me that for a day. And I'd be like, damn, why did I do this? Why didn't I do this? I don't do that anymore. I may express my anger at the moment and be like, that wasn't the best choice.
I'm an idiot.
Exactly. And then it goes away.
Yeah,
but I expressed it. Another thing I'm doing that my therapist said is you can mourn things in your own way. It's not just being sad, but for example, and I did this with an event.
You told me. I did that the day. Well, just parenthesis right now. I hope you know that my biggest act of love for you as your friend is selling you my Bad Bunny ticket.
Yeah.
That day I dressed in all black.
Good.
Okay. I mourned not being able to go to the concert.
And I do have to say, now that we're sharing, I do have to say that it was thanks to you that I was able to see Bad Bunny. And I had, and it was a very, it's so hard to talk about it because I know how much it upsets you.
I'm probably going to go to Guatemala on Thursday, so it's okay.
Please do. Because then I can fully express my feelings about Bad Bunny in the concert. But you gave me the chance to do something by myself. And you gave me the chance to have closure. No, I'm going to cry. Because you're such a good friend. Because it meant so much to you. And you were the one who introduced me to Bad Bunny, and it was like a full circle. And I was there at the concert, and I was thinking of you and thinking your biggest act of love was sharing that with me. It wasn't just introducing me to music, regardless whether it was him or somebody else, but it was then you gave me the chance to go, and
it was just right. It was just right for me to give you my ticket.
And it felt and I missed you there, but also you gave me the chance to be alone. I was alone because your mom and your friends were there, but I wasn't with them. They actually ignored me, which is totally fine. But it was my chance to be alone. I was standing there with my thoughts and with all these feelings, because music has the ability to put us in a place where memories and relationships can be manifested. Like for example, I have a song for my mom. I have a song for my dad. I move in music. That's how my feelings move, through music. And so I was there, and every song had a meaning to me now, because you allow me to explore that kind of music, and every song had a meaning, and it meant so much to me to be going through that experience. It was healing. It was healing, and I was having closure with so many things, so many past relationships that the songs represented that absence of that person. And suddenly I'm like, I don't need that person anymore. You know what I mean? Like before I would play the song and I'd be like, why didn't he love me? Why didn't he say this? Why didn't this work out? And then I was standing at the concert saying, I no longer dedicate the song to that guy. I'm dedicating that song to me now. It just full closure. And then funny thing, my son Enzo, his favorite song is Después de la Playa.
Ooh.
But I can't explain to you. The moment I put the song on, he goes, He starts imitating Bad Bunny. He's like singing. He can't speak. And he just go, And then when the music kicks in, he goes, and his feet just start flailing. And
Oh.
I have to tape it for you. I have to tape it on, and you play it at some point. And so when the song came, I just thinking of him, of my son, and how much I loved him. You know, it's very rare to process that on our daily basis because we're so busy. But then I had nothing to do there but take the music in. And so I thought about how I actually have such a strong connection with my kids that I hadn't realized. So for me, the concert was such a good way to explore that, explore my friendships, what they meant to me, but also the most important relationship that was with me. So thank you for that. I hope you get to go to Guatemala.
Me too. I cannot die without going to the world's hottest tour. And like what a lot of people said about the concert is like energetically everyone was just like vibing so high.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the concert like so different from any other reggaetonero.
I do have to say that there's I mean Bad Bunny is so polarizing. You know, some people hate him, some people love him. There's no in between. And the people who love him are people who say like he is such an innovator, he's artistic, you know, he's inclusive and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm gonna say something about that inclusiveness, and then about the concert, and then the people that hate him, they will say things like he's nasty, he's dirty, he's chauvinist, yeah, and people who listen to his music are uneducated, things like that, right?
Totally the opposite.
They're both stereotypes on the people that listen to Bad Bunny and hate Bad Bunny. They're both stereotypes, but my point is he's so polarizing. And that is something to be studied. Actually, the University of San Diego. Yeah, San Diego State.
Like, I'm sorry, you can say whatever you want, but if a university opened up a course to study this case of Benito, Bad Bunny, like that tells you something. Like this guy is onto something. He's something else. He's not, you know, your typical reggaetonero.
I know, and you know, they're teaching a postgraduate course on Bad Bunny and the phenomenon of Bad Bunny, and I think that's now I see it clearly because I can see people's reactions towards him, the good and the bad. Yeah. So it's worth exploring as a culture. What is it that we don't like about him, you know, and what is it that for people like ourselves we like about him? For me, what I really liked when I listened to his music for the first time is that it really explained the gap between my generation and your generation. Bad Bunny became a bridge for me. As a 41-year-old woman, I did not understand many new waves of relationships, situationships, imaginationships, and friendships. And then when I listened to Bad Bunny and him saying things like, you know, for example, this is just for a moment. I like you a lot, but I may return with my ex, you know, and there's a lot of vulnerability of a man saying, I'm also very insecure. I don't know what I want, so I don't want anything. You know, I think it expresses a lot of the issues many young people or people in general are encountering in this generation. So for me, it was a bridge. Definitely, he became a bridge to this newer generation, and it explained so much. Even emojis, it explained emojis to me on how to use them.
It educates a lot of girls as well. Like, you know, I feel like I've talked about this hundreds of times. So like, if you're not a Bad Bunny fan or you're like, you know, in between, give me 1 hour and I will turn you into a fan. I can guarantee that. But like, for example, like other artists, like, and I'm not shitting on them, obviously, like Luis Miguel or like other, like past generations, like artists, they would talk about sex, but they would romanticize it. Like, I'm gonna make love all night long and I love you forever. And then like women and girls grow up thinking like this is what love is and this is what sex is. And women are not able to explore sex. And then Bad Bunny comes and says like, no, I just want to, you know, I want to have a one night stand. And they're both talking about sex. Yeah. But one is romanticizing it and the other one's just like saying it how it is.
Yes. And the thing is, women are allowed to also have one night stands. Like there's nothing wrong with a woman being sexually active and sexually strong, you know, or, you know, it's not.
We need a whole episode on this.
I know we do. But of course we do. And so, you know, but that's the thing, right? Like people accept the sexuality that is very heteronormative and that's very quiet and subdued and romanticized. And we don't accept our raw nature of sexuality, which is I like you. I want to sleep with you. I don't want to be with you because you're toxic or there's something wrong with you, but I do want to sleep with you because I'm physically attracted to you or sexually attracted to you. What's wrong with saying that?
Yeah.
But our culture, especially here in El Salvador, doesn't allow us
No.
to, as women, to say that. And so music by Bad Bunny gets demonized, right? And I, it's the same with, there's music that our parents listen to that says she was young, she was 17, 17
Yeah.
años, she's a minor, she's illegal. And this older man is saying that he wants to sleep with her. Amo su inocencia, 17 años. Come on. I love her innocence. She's 17. She's also illegal and jailbait.
Yeah.
I mean, and no one says, oh, I have an issue with that song. Quite the opposite. Everyone's dancing to it.
Dancing to that song.
So I think we're hypocrites in overall. And here is the inclusive part that I wanted to add. This is the most inclusive show I've ever been to.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yes. The dancers, all shapes and sizes.
Colors,
young,
sexuality.
Exactly.
Genders.
All gender bending, transgender, or gay, queer, whatever you want to call it, all of it on the stage. I saw women who are my size dancing, and the way he interacted with everybody,
I get goosebumps.
It was so respectful. It didn't matter if you were a man or a woman. He would hug you and he would kiss you the exact same way.
I love that.
And so here's where people need to understand. There's a difference between narrative and rhetoric and actions. People say he's chauvinistic, he's machista, right? Because some of his songs, because he also empowers women, Yo Perro Sola and stuff like that. He also empowers women. But some of his songs will say something like, like, I love how you suck, and so on. And people are going like, oh my God, he's so machista. That is rhetoric. That's like Eminem putting a show and saying he wants to kill everybody. That's his rapper attitude. It's, stage
persona.
acting. It's his persona. The same with Bad Bunny. That's his persona. But in actions, he is not like that. He did not disrespect a single woman on that stage. Not a dancer, not one of the girls he picked, he propped up on the stage. Like, nobody was disrespected. And then the way that he would hug a female fan was exactly the same way he would hug a male fan. I'm sorry, people, but for me, actions speak louder than words. And that man is inclusive. I don't care if his songs say, do we want to answer that? I don't care if his songs say bad words that you might not like. But I'd rather someone say a bad word than someone murder a woman.
Or someone raping people.
Exactly. So I think we need to understand that rhetoric and narrative of say someone like Bad Bunny is so different from his actions. And we are going to close with that.
And on that note, well,
Yo perreo sola.
We're going to have, if you want, we can have another whole episode on music and Bad Bunny and everything. So yeah, you can find Vanessa on
Vanessa Tomasino, and one N, one S on Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me on TikTok and Instagram as MF Bruson.
Before we end, because there's so much to say, it's the end of the year and everything, I just want to invite everybody to the film festival, Se Van en Cortos.
Yes.
That's happening December 7th.
2022.
2022. If you're listening after that, well, I'm sorry, you can't go. It's done. But we want to invite people to watch Salvadoran films produced by Salvadorans from around the world. I'm going to be there. A lot of people also say that they want to meet us and say hi to us. So you can come by and we'll definitely take pictures with you and have fun.
I will not be there, unfortunately. I will be filming in LA.
She's filming.
But I will be there in heart.
In spirit. As a ghost. So you can come to Se Van en Cortos 2022, December 7th at Muna, and come and celebrate the artistry of Salvadoran filmmakers.
Great films, by the way. I'm a judge in this festival and I've watched them all, and I gotta say, like, every year the level of the films are getting better and better and better. So
Yes.
exciting.
We received over 2,300 submissions.
2,400 almost.
Yes. And the quality gets better each year. And I'm proud of all the Salvadorans who are dedicating their heart and their lives to storytelling. So thank you for applying. And as the founder director of the film festival, I cannot express how thankful I am for everybody participating.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope to see you there. And if you're listening after that, you can go to our website and check us out, and to our Instagram, Civar en Cortos, and look at the pictures after.
And you have something to look forward to next year.
That's right. Every year, Civar en Cortos. Thank you so much for listening. Episode 12. We have one more episode before the end of the season and before the end of the year. And if you want to ask us or bring up subjects for the end of 2022, let us know.
Yeah.
Send us the messages, right?
Yep. It's going to be an exciting episode. We're going to wrap up 2022 and we're going to talk about some things that we look forward to in 2023.